Welcome to the show. I'm Danella, and here's what's happening now. Coming up, we're going to talk about the memo that is rocking our nation's capital. Also in the show, hey, do you want to find out how you can get some free weed? I'll tell you how. And I hate to do this to you again. We're going to talk about the disgusting truth behind some of your favorite foods. I hate to do this, but hey, I got to let you know what's going on with what you eat. But first, we're going to start with a couple of updates, unfortunately disturbing updates that we're following. I've been tracking these stories for some time. First, we'll start with the gymnastics doctor, Larry Nassar. Here's what's happening now. His number of victims has grown to 265, at least. This is terrible. So just to recap, he's already serving 60 years in prison. Now, this sentence was for having child abuse pictures. Now, he was sentenced last week to 40 to 175 years after nearly 160 women testified that he molested them. And this week, at least 65 women scheduled to testify. This is his third and final week of hearing victims' testimony. This is ridiculous, and it just came out also this week that back in 2004, the police in Michigan missed it. Yeah, the then 17-year-old girl, this is terrible, she brought up charges against him. She said that she went to see him because she was suffering from scoliosis, and during this exam, that this so-called doctor rubbed her breast, and he also tried to use his fingers to penetrate her. She went to authorities. There was an investigation. And do you know what this guy did? This guy literally testified that he was doing a medical treatment and then went on to present a PowerPoint presentation. And the police bought it. They've since said that this, they dropped the ball. This was a huge mistake. It's just crazy on so many levels how there were chances to catch this guy, and he went undetected for decades. Now, an update on the situation in Puerto Rico. Now, I'm not sure if you guys have been following this. Okay, so FEMA was supposed to withdraw food and water aid, right? And now that happened a little bit earlier this week. And when that happened, the mayor of Puerto Rico hit to Twitter and tweeted this, saying, seriously, are they leaving? Because it's been 4 months since Hurricane Maria, and still a third of the island still does not have power. Still, a lot of work still needs to happen in the area. And here's what happened. Lawmakers said, please do not leave. And we're talking lawmakers, both Democratic and Republican, both said, hey, FEMA, it's not time to go. Do not leave. So then FEMA said, okay, yeah, we're not going to leave yet. So that's where we are right now. They're saying they're not leaving just yet. What they're hoping to do is they want to transition aid over to the government. And that's their plan there. Speaking of water, have you been following the situation in Cape Town? Cape Town literally is running out of water. And this week, residents there have increased the level of water restrictions. And listen to what they're saying is at fault. They're blaming this on climate change, which the Trump administration doesn't believe exists in the world. So yeah, in Cape Town, they're saying climate change and also a growing population. A lot of blames tossed back and forth in the area. And this is a really serious problem because they're expecting to run out of water completely in mid-April. So what the government is doing now is working on a building that will turn seawater into drinkable water. So unfortunately, they are preparing for the worst. If Cape Town does run out of water, this will be the world's first major city to do so. Now we're going to move on to Amazon. Oh, Amazon. Did you hear about this? They're actually turning humans into robots. Yeah, they're going to do this until the robots can officially take over. Let me explain what I mean by that. So they worked on a new patent, and this patent is for a wristband. And what the wristband does, the idea of it is to help the packers there to be able to more efficiently, more quickly, and more directly find where the package needs to come from and where the package should go. So this is what the wristband does. It's pretty innovative. As the person, it can literally track where the worker is and then vibrate. For example, if they're going toward the right, but they need to go to the left, they'll get a little vibrate and they'll know where to go. right? Making the work much easier, much faster. And so literally the robots are able to come and do the job for them. Now, here's the tricky part about this whole thing. On one end, it's great. Workers want to be efficient. They don't want to dally all day and try to figure out where is the box? Where am I pulling from? They don't want to waste that kind of time. But one major problem with this is that it's going to increase surveillance, literally, because this program literally is tracking the workers. So if you work for Amazon, when this patent goes through and they build your hefty, nifty galifty. Sorry, my son loves Daniel Tiger. when they build, your handy duty, what is that guy? Iron Man? Yeah, your Iron Man pack. When they do this to you, think twice before you decide to pick that wedgie because no one is looking. And that's going to lead us straight into Political Pop. Here is your Political Pop for Friday, February 2nd. The memo rocking our nation's capital. We got to talk about this memo. Are you following this? The memo was drafted by House Intelligence Committee Chairman, this is Devin Nunes, and this is what he did. He drafted a memo. And in this memo, now keep in mind it's classified, so everybody's just kind of describing what's in the memo. But basically in this memo is how the Justice Department and the FBI abused their power, specifically their power for surveillance. They're saying that anti-Trump supporters within both organizations went to the court that allows these types of surveillances and basically presented false information to allow the court to give them permission to start doing these types of surveillances. Let's talk about first with what the Justice Department says. The Justice Department says this: there's no wrongdoing at all. We have done nothing wrong. Here's what the FBI says. Now, here's what's interesting. The FBI is saying that the memo leaves out key details. In fact, the director of the FBI, who was appointed by Donald Trump, had this to say: we have grave concerns about material omissions of fact that fundamentally impact the memo's accuracy. Now, in your lifetime, have you ever heard an FBI director say something like this against the president? No. Now, this is what the Democrats say. They completely agree. They say that the memo that they voted on to be released to the public is not exactly the same memo that the president received and what's going to be released to us. They're very upset. In fact, Nancy Pelosi, she's heated. She's calling for the firing of Nunes. She wants him out of here. She said that he needs to be stripped from his job. Now, here's where we are. Trump said that he definitely wants to release this memo. He was caught on camera saying it. And he could do so as early as today. I'm DanellaNOW, and that was your Political Pop. Now, $55 for a bottle of juice to be delivered to your house? Oh, wait, that also comes with some weed. Oh, so the weed is complimentary to your $55 bottle of juice. Now that makes sense. This is what companies are doing to avoid sales tax and government regulations, because legally you're allowed to give marijuana in the states where marijuana is legal, right? Hey, happy birthday. Here's a J, right? That's legal. And businesses are taking advantage of that, especially in places like Massachusetts, where their stores are months away from legally opening. But some companies have been low-key getting the job done. Companies like High Speed, actually High Speed is also here in DC. So yeah, High Speed, they have themselves listed as a juice service. Nice. So the interesting thing about this though, is I'm wondering on a street level, how is that going to affect business? Because in my mind, I'm thinking it's something like this. Yeah, they got juice, but it's cold outside. I'm going to hit up Northwest because they got hot chocolate. Be very interesting on the streets. Very interesting. All right, so speaking of legalizing it, we're going to head over to San Francisco. Did you hear what the district attorney did there? He literally is throwing out thousands of convictions, misdemeanor convictions, related to marijuana. Yeah, dating back to 1975. If you happen to be watching right now and you might have a conviction for weed, in San Francisco. You good. It's about to be thrown out of here. This is what they said. They said that it's 3,038 misdemeanor convictions. They also said that prosecutors are going to review up to 4,940 felony convictions. And they said they're going to consider reducing them to misdemeanors. And here's what's interesting. The district attorney said that they received a small amount of people petitioning to have their cases expunged. And this is what the district attorney said. I thought this was cool. He said, instead of waiting for the community to act, we're taking action. They're expunging these misdemeanors and saying that if it affects you, you don't have to do anything at all. They will take care of it. But he also did this. He noted the racial discrepancies in San Francisco. Now, let's take this for example. He gave 2010 to 2011. African Americans made up about half of the marijuana-related arrests, but only 6% of the city's population. That's crazy. And in his statement, he said, San Francisco's taken the lead to undo the damage that this country's disastrous failed drug war has had on our nation and on our communities of people of color in particular. Way to go, San Francisco. Now, we're going to move on to In Our World. I hate to do this to you again, but I got to do it. What are you eating? The disgusting truth about some of your favorite foods. Now, if you follow me on Facebook, stay with me on this. Don't get frustrated. It's good. You're going to want to hear this. I promise you. And you are going to want to tell your friends. So if you follow me on Facebook, I did a post. It was disgusting. So you know where I'm going with this. If you follow me on Facebook, you know what I'm about to talk about. So this is how I'm going to list the foods. I'm going to list some of your favorite foods. And the way we're going to grow from, that's not that bad, to, are you freaking kidding me? I'm eating that? Yeah, and by that, think hog hair, human hair. Hold, I'll get to it. Stay with me. First, we're going to start with blueberries. Are you somebody that loves blueberries in your bread and your muffins? How about your favorite cereal? Well, you would be surprised to know that usually there is 0 blueberries in what you're eating. Here's what it is. Products like muffins, pancakes, cereals, breads. Yeah, read the fine print. No blueberries there. They'll say this, blueberry flavored crunchlets. Crunchlets? Yeah, that is sugars, soybean oil, red number 4 and blue number 2. Specifically, if you enjoy Kellogg's blueberry frosted mini wheats, yeah, and they have so many blueberries on that box, read the label. There are 0 berries in that blueberry cereal. That's not that bad. We'll keep going. Just have a couple to get through. Your favorite strawberry flavored products actually have crunched up bugs in them. This is what I posted on Facebook because I love strawberries. In fact, when I was a little girl, my birthday's November 3rd, so I would have Halloween birthday parties with my sister. And you know what I would do? I would dress up like strawberry shortcake. Back in the 80s, there were these like plastic costumes where your face, it was real scary. You had eye holes. You could barely breathe. There was like 2 little holes for your nose. You could barely breathe. Little lip. That was me. Strawberry shortcake. Strawberry Pop-Tarts. I was with all that. Here's what it is. Cochineal. You know what that is? Yeah, it's a bug. It's a little bug. And what they do is they crunch up the little bugs. All the little bugs, they crunch it up and it makes a beautiful light pink color. You can add a little water. Ugh, I posted a video on Facebook. It grossed me out. But it's a vibrant color. Oh my God, I wonder if it's in my lipstick. Probably not. It might be. But anyway, yeah, it's harmless. You're just eating a little bug. You know, they love it in makeup. They love it in food. Give it that extra pink, the extra vibrant red that you like so much. We're going to keep going. Apples. We're getting up there. Apples are actually covered in ground up bug resin. That's what gives apples their shine. So keep in mind, apples do have their own natural shine. But by the time it gets to you, the producers, you know, the person that picked it and they got manufactured and ship it off to your grocery store, they clean it. So they wash all that off. They know you like your shine. So what they do is they take bug resin, because that's so shiny. Just put that on the apple and give it to you. So yummy. Also, that same bug resin is what makes jelly beans so shiny and coated. Yummy deliciousness. And finally, as promised, bread often contains a preservative made from duck feathers. What? L-cysteine is an amino acid. It's an essential preservative. It's the reason why when you buy your bread, it can sit in your house a week, 2 weeks. It can sit a long time. But if you were to make your own bread, maybe you don't make your bread. Maybe grandma made bread for you. It spoils what? A couple days, it spoils. Well, that preservative keeps it on the shelf longer. Everybody wants a longer shelf life. But let's talk about how it's made. It's often made from duck feathers, cow horns, hog hair, and even human hair. So, as I am, I'm definitely a struggling vegan. I've talked about it on the show a lot. You know, the I love cheese. If I could have a shirt made that said I love cheese, I would probably buy and wear this shirt. That's how ignorant my love for cheese is. But as a struggling vegan, a conscious eater, I try to just learn what are the best products to put into my body so I can have a long, healthy life, so my family can have a long, healthy life. It's all about transparency. So if I've grossed you out, at least you know. You can decide, hey, you know what? I think I'd like my fruit today with actual fruit in it. Or I'd like to decide whether or not I eat bugs today. Yeah. Tough choices in America. But that's what makes our country great. So, before we wrap up the show, I actually have a question for you, and I really would like some feedback. I am strongly considering moving the show from airing on Fridays to Thursdays, so it can be more convenient for you. Let me know what you think. Do you want me to move to Thursday? Just let me know what you think. Leave it in a comment. As always, feel free to email me, Danella@DanellaNOW.com. As always, thank you so much for joining the show. I want you to have an incredible weekend. And I will see you next week.